Guys, welcome back to the channel. No shit, there I was. As you guys know, I served in the Marine Corps from 2000 to 2012. Most of my time was spent with either recon, force recon, or special operations at Marine Special Operations Command. But when I got done with that, I was, if you've read my book, Excommunicated Warrior, The 7 Stages of Transition, I was very angry, bitter. Nothing because of them. It's just my own stuff. And I really believed that I was sold a bill of goods. What was, essentially brainwashed into us at the time was really not the truth. And there's some good and bad to that. And that's a different story. But after working at the, you can say, somewhat elite levels of special operations, a lot of our things were ending up on, the White House's desk. A lot of things that we were doing were very kind of a big deal at the time. And I, got involved with the State Department, and they came out and they just said certain things, and, it just really grinded my gears and chapped my ass, if you will. And I was like, man, what are we doing? What are we even doing here? And so when I got out, I wanted nothing to do with politics. I wanted nothing to do with the government. I wanted nothing to do with anything in regards to that. Like, I felt like at that point, it was my time. I was done with that. People always ask me, Nick, what do you think about this? And I'm like, to be honest, I don't really want to share my opinion. So what happened in 2020 hit me like a freaking freight train. Here I am, minding my own business, worried about myself, worried about my family, which there's nothing wrong with. But in 2020, when COVID happened, my gym was raided.
What's happening? Everybody that's in the store, the gym, we're told to leave. You've been issued a citation for having the gym open. If you get caught again, then we take warrants out for your arrest. Okay?
That's it?
Again. Well, you're issued a citation, so hang about.
Who sent you guys here?
The work sent us here.
Huh?
The work I was sent us here.
I want to know.
We came here. We saw cars up here and see people working outside the gym.
So you're going to not allow me to run my business, pay my employees, pay my taxes that pay you?
Well, first of all, don't worry about paying me. Follow the government order. Let's stop. Let me smart ass, okay? Follow the government order.
What'd you say?
When they open up, just stop being smart ass.
When the cops raided my gym, I was floored. Floored. How could this happen? How can this happen to business owners? How could this happen to Americans? There's no law. There was no, it was a tyrannical person who came up and just made a rule and said that you will abide by these rules. You will also pay your taxes, your property taxes, but you can't earn income. And it just did not sit right with me. And I feel like it was kind of like the scene out of, First Blood, right? Like the guys just wanted to be left alone, and these guys just start fucking with him. And he really just wanted to do his thing, man, and live his life. And that was me, man. I just wanted to live in a van down by the river. I wanted to surf. I wanted to rock climb. I wanted to do my thing, skateboard, hang out with my kids, hang out with my wife, run my businesses, and live a good life and be left the fuck alone. So when this happened, and I have employees that need to get paid, their rent's due. I have patrons that are like, Nick, I'm losing my mind, man. I need to get back into the gym. Like, my mental health is being affected. And then the cops raid our gym. Again, that's a different story. But when I started to realize, how did this happen? When I opened my eyes and pulled myself out of the funk, and it's like, wait, how did we get here? And I started looking at the decades of erosion of men, telling, this lie that masculinity is toxic. And I started looking at the the health of men in America. I looked at the powers that be that are essentially trying to wipe men out or make them obsolete. And the only conclusion that I could come to, is power, control. A man that is weak, a man that is overweight, a man that has been systematically put down for decades, given vices right in front of your face, booze, tobacco, drugs, pornography, gambling, anything to distract you, anything to make you dependent, anything to make you fat and sick, because now you are no longer a threat. A 300-pound fat guy is not a threat to me and my family. He's not a threat to the government. He can't do anything. He doesn't have a voice. He's been pacified. Men stop thinking for themselves and thinking for what's in their best interest and what's in the best interest of their communities and families. Oh, well, if the government said so, then so be it. In 2018, I read a book called Where Will You Be in 5 Years? Now, I don't really believe in the whole where will you be in 5 years. If I looked at 5 years ago and said, this is where I'll be right here talking to you, there's absolutely no way in the world that I would have pictured this. But what that book did do is it gave me a bunch of questions to ask about myself. It led me down a path of self-discovery. And through that book, I realized that my mission in life was to inspire, educate, and motivate others to live a more healthier and successful life. That was what I was passionate about. That's where my heart was. And I wasn't doing that in 2018. Fast forward today, that's exactly what I'm doing. And that didn't really happen by intention. It happened organically. And now I look at a community of men who have been weakened, been put down for the purpose of gaining control over your thoughts, your decisions, your outcomes, so that you live paycheck to paycheck, so that you live dependent on vices, and you amount to nothing. Because if I was going to take over this country, I wouldn't be worried about, or any country, I wouldn't be worried about women, children, elderly. I would be worried about military-age males. So systematically, over decades, they've eroded that. So it was time to hang up the hippie cape. It was time to hang up the things of not being worried about. It was time to hang up the idea that I just worry about myself and no one else. And it was time to push the fight against men being complacent. Because the reality is this: I'd much rather be a warrior in the garden than a gardener at war. There's a lot of gardeners out there right now. So my mission, and the reason why I will continue to take the hate, the reason why I'll continue to take, shots to the face, shots to the gut, is because there's a group of men out there that feel the exact same way. They're sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck. They're sick and tired of being average. They're sick and tired of powers that be telling them the way that they're supposed to be. They're sick and tired of society telling them that it's not okay to be a man. It's not okay to be masculine. So society doesn't even know what that is anymore. They're sick and tired of the schools indoctrinating their children with no morals or character. They're sick and tired of being average. So my mission now is to assist and lead those men, make those men leaders in their community. It's not easy. Matter of fact, it's the opposite of that. You work with me, You want to be one of these type of men, your life will get exponentially harder, because everything that you do goes against the grain. Everything you do goes against society's norms now. Everything. Your life will be so much harder. But the funny thing is when you live that life, now you feel a sense of purpose. You feel a sense of pride. You actually have true happiness. Not the one that comes in a bottle, not the one that comes in a bottle of pills or your OnlyFans subscription or whatever the heck you got going on. Those are fleeting moments of distraction. It's not true pleasure. True pleasure comes from purpose. True pleasure comes from doing hard things. The road less traveled. The challenge. The thing that you're afraid to do. Afraid to say. That's where the sweet spot is. So while being this type of man is exponentially harder, it is infinitely more rewarding. So I challenge you to push back. I challenge you to question. I challenge you to say why. And I challenge you to become the very best version of yourself, because our country, our families, and our community depend on you to be that kind of man. So no matter what happens, no matter who the fucking president is, no matter who's doing what, saying what, I'm going to be right here, fighting the fight. I don't care about the comments. I don't care about the hate. I don't care about any of it. Because I've seen the darkness. I've seen the reasons why men become the way that they are. And someone has to stand in the gap. And that someone is us. There's a link below. If you're one of these guys saying, I know that my potential is more. I know that I'm meant for more. And I'm yearning for more. I want to be the rock star husband, the superhero father. Click that link below. Let's have a chat. Let's see if the Agogi's right for you. Promise you this, it won't be easy, but it'll be very rewarding.